Chapter 2. Welcome to Hell. Remind me again why we must come to this rundown pack? I took a deep breath before lashing out at my beta and best friend, Terry. Thanks to my wolf Aries, I have had a migraine since we started this trip to hell. He was excited and sure that we would find our mate this time. The problem is that he is always confident and gets disappointed in the end. Terry, don't. Our pack needs this. Terry took his eyes off the road to glance at me and, with a visible frown, said, "What got into you today, Alpha? I've never seen you in a mood like that. You have not spoken the whole trip." Massaging my forehead, I said, "It's Aries. He's giving me a headache this time. He isn't letting me organize my thoughts." Terry's eyes got wild, thinking my wolf had a bad feeling about this trip. Is he sensing any danger? I took another deep breath. No. Aries wants our fucking mate. He always gets like that on our visits, but Aries is too agitated this time. I had blocked our connection hours ago to give me some breathing, but this stupid wolf is forcing too much to break the wall, giving me more and more headaches. Terry laughed. Wait till you tell him you are considering taking a mate in alliance with another pack. A chosen mate, Aries won't have it. Be prepared for the consequences. I looked outside the window. At least the view towards hell was breathtaking. He won't have a choice but to obey me. The pack needs a Luna and a future Alpha. I am the one in charge, and we are 25 now. We need to mate pronto. He will have to understand his fated mate might never be found. Terry snorted. He knew how difficult Aries was. Good luck with that. 2 hours later, we finally arrived in hell, or should I say at the Woodland Pack. Alpha Michael White was all smiles waiting outside for us with a woman and his beta by his side. I didn't know Alpha Michael had taken a mate. I asked my beta on the mind link. He didn't. She is his fucking buddy. Michael was in his late 40s, and I did not understand why he had not mated yet. Is he still waiting for his fated mate? If yes, he is persistent. I must give him that. I lowered the wall between my wolf and me. We are not in our territory anymore and had to be on high alert. I needed him now more than ever. Welcome, Alpha Maximus. We are delighted to have you here. His young side chick only smiled at me, and I was disgusted with that. Thank you. Alpha Michael, my warriors, are very excited. You have many she-wolves here, and I am sure they will find their mates. Alpha Michael gave me a fake smile, and I knew he was unhappy with the arrangements. He had been pushing for an alliance for months. But his rundown pack had nothing to offer us. An alliance with them would not benefit my pack. It would be an honor if you were to choose a member of my pack as your mate, Alpha Maximus. The she-wolves are very excited about your presence here. Hearing his comment, Aries released a lower growl, and they got startled. Whom this runt thinks he is talking to us like that? The moon goddess has already chosen our mate for us. I rolled my eyes. Can we get this over it, Aries? It would be best if you behaved, or we take control of his weak pack. If you want to fight, I am all for it. But if not, sit tight there and let me do the talking. Aries was a killer, but just like I thought, he went away. He was not here to fight this time. Aries wanted to find his mate. I looked at Alpha Michael, and the man was pale. He, like everybody, knew how deadly my wolf was. It will be best if your beta finds accommodation for my warriors, and we can discuss business in your office, Alpha Michael. Michael composed himself and smiled again. Of course, and please follow me. I will have one of the Omegas show you in your beta the guest quarters. You might want to freshen up before business. We just nodded. It would be best to rest for a while. I had to endure 3 days in hell, all for the sake of my pack. Following the Omega to our quarters, Aries, as expected, started with his observation. This man gives me the creeps. I don't like this Alpha. Look at his pack house. If our mate is here, it will take years for us to make up to her and earn her forgiveness for not finding her sooner and taking her from this awful place. Boy, we will have to work a lot to buy all the presents for her, and I'm sure it won't be enough. I groaned at him, ready to break his bubble. His confidence sometimes was amusing. You do realize she might never be found, don't you? You might be living in a fairyland, and I will soon have to take matters into hand and break you out of your bubble. He released a low growl. Don't you dare say that, Max. I will not accept another mate but the one Moon Goddess gave us. I am kind enough to you to let you take your sluts to bed when you want, but a mate. He shook his head, delivering his statement. I will never accept that. I had to laugh. Aries thinks he is the one in charge. Well, buddy, I am in charge here, and the pack needs a Luna. Sorry to say it, but I won't wait much longer. You have been looking for her for 9 years now, Aries. Soon, it will be our 5th year in charge of the pack and 5 years with a massive pack without a Luna. Our enemies can take advantage of us being pupilless and attack. It would be best if you thought about the pack first. I moved to the window. From there, I could see the pack's border. Aries, I'm surprised you are okay to be all this time without a pup or a mate by your side. And are against me choosing a she-wolf to lead the pack with us. The bag of black fur was sitting there in my mind. I do think about the pack. They will benefit more from a fated mate than from a chosen one. It won't be the same, Max. The dedication a fated mate will give us, and the pack will be much greater. You have to understand that, Pit. And, of course, I miss having pups and a mate running with me, but we still have to look for her, Max. I will not have another taking her rightful place. It was 9 in the evening, and I was lying curled like a ball on the small dirty mattress on the floor. It was raining heavily outside, and the small shed I lived in at the back of the pack house shook violently with a strong wind. Stormy days like today bring my mind to a place I do not like, a feeling I wish I could cut from inside. Jules, are you okay? I can feel your pain. The storm will pass soon, sweetie. Don't let your mind go there. Please close your eyes and let me take over. I am weak, but I can use some of my powers to comfort you. Aphrodite is kind and optimistic, always trying to comfort me and bring me to a better place. The thought of meeting my wolf was the only thing that kept me sane since my parents and twin brother had died on a stormy day, just like today. My wolf was the best thing that happened to me since I lost everything. I lost my family, my pack and my future. I was lost in my thoughts and did not smell him coming. The rain had masked his scent, and even if it was not stormy out, takes me longer to sense another's presence. They must be much closer to me for my senses to quicken. I was nearly a human at this stage, and I knew my wolf would die soon if things did not improve for us. My whole body trembled when I saw the monster of my uncle kicking the door and standing there soaked from the rain. I knew what was coming, and I was not sure if I would be able to endure this time. Aphrodite tried to take control, but I closed our connection. I knew she would try something, and there was no way we could take down an alpha. With red eyes, he took long strides toward me. I knew his wolf was in control and shaking. I moved back to the corner. I was too afraid even to breathe. Uncle Michael's hand grabbed me by the hair and threw me to the other side of the room. My face collided with the bucket of water dripping from the roof, cutting my lips. Uncle Michael came on top of me and ripped my long shirt, leaving me only in my panties. And he screamed in my face, "On your hands and knees like the filthy animal you are." I lifted my face and saw what he was holding. My body shivered and I whimpered, "Uncle, please not this." He punched my left eye, and my head hit the floor. He hated when I spoke to him. He always said my voice was as sweet as my mother's. With much difficulty, I moved to my hands and knees in front of him, and not a second later, I felt the riding crop covered in silver cutting on my bare lower back. I was at his mercy now. I could scream as much as I wanted, and nobody from the pack would come to my rescue. I learned that when I was 12. Between strokes, he said in a disgusting voice, "I am not your uncle. I am your fucking alpha. I don't want to hear your pathetic voice today. If you scream or cry, I will kill you." I quickly muffed my cries every time the silver crop lashed my skin. I could smell the cooper. My back was already bleeding, and I did not know why he was beating me this time. I was sure it was not because I had done something wrong. I had completed all my tasks today, but I knew better than to ask the reason he would only beat me more. My uncle increased the force on each stroke and said, "You are nothing. Remember that you are only alive because I let you live. You are only the means to make the pack stay in line." My mind went to when he killed my parents and my twin brother in front of me. I hated going there, but it happened every time he came to hurt me. And he was coming more and more often each week. He was losing control of the pack. There are too many problems with rogues, and he was supposed to ensure the pack's safety. Michael was a lazy alpha driving the pack to the ground and losing everything my father and grandfather had built. When he stopped, I took a deep breath, hoping he had lashed out all the anger at this stage. He had hit me more than 100 times, and I could not keep the position. The smell of blood was too much that was making me dizzy. I was already lying on the floor, muffing my cries not to set his wolf off. I heard the crop hitting the floor, and my uncle walked to the small, broken window. The alpha of the Blue Moon pack and many warriors of his pack are coming. That cocky bastard thinks he is better than me and is doing me a favor. He always talked to me after his punishments. I was his only family left, and now I knew why he had hurt me. He was angry with the alpha of the Blue Moon pack. I closed my eyes and tried to remember what my father had taught me about them. I was a twin, and it was my brother's rightful place to become the alpha of this pack. Not me, but my father insisted on teaching my brother and me together. He always said I would become a Luna of another pack, and I needed to know everything to help my mate lead them. I was trying to picture my father's face when he showed me the maps and made me understand the pack's logistics. They were highly skilled in combat, and alphas worldwide would go to them asking for alliance and protection. I did not know much about the new alpha. I knew from conversations I heard while cleaning the kitchen that he had secured more land and better alliances in only 4 years of being an alpha than any other alpha had. He started his duties when he turned 21, and my father was long gone to teach me anything about him. The Blue Moon was the most extensive and successful pack. Not only in the territory but also in people. It was a pack of warriors, and they valued strength the most. They were known not only for their skills but also for their looks. I knew the alpha was highly trained and deadly in combat. I'm sure all the she-wolves would be looking forward to his arrival, hoping he would pick one of them. The pack always had more men than women, and the alpha was pleased to bring their wolves to other packs to meet she-wolves. I am sure they were coming here to look for their mates. With fated mates being so rare these days, they could also choose a mate if they did not find one. My train of thought was stopped when my uncle kicked me on my left side, making me land on my back. It hurt so much that I screamed, which only infuriated him further, leading him to kick me again because he was angry. That piece of shit refused an alliance with me. He thinks he is better alpha than I am, all with his pretty cocky face and his kills to count on his advantage. He will leave me, 10 miserable warriors, to deal with the rogue's problem in exchange for letting his pack search for their mates. And after that, what will I do when I have another problem and the warriors are not here to help? I never understood his monologues after the beatings. He did not want my input in the pack. He was not there seeking help. He was there to torment me and make me his punching bag because he was weak to take a man of his size. I was breathing slowly. I could feel the broken bones and sensed his silent presence closer to me. The shed was dark. It did not have electricity, but I knew he could see my exposed, bleeding body in the dark. He was a well-fed wolf, after all. His senses were high.